Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are joining around the world. Welcome to today's webinar, where we will try to unleash the untapped opportunities of agri-food tourism. We are streaming to you live through the SEARCA online learning and virtual engagements, or SOLVE platform, via Zoom and Facebook Live. My name is Kim Bantayan, and I am a program specialist of the Training for Development Unit under the Education and Collective Learning Department of SEARCA. I will be your moderator this morning. The short video shown earlier has given you a glimpse about SEARCA and what we do. SEARCA is hosted by the Philippine government in the campus of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. So we are coming to you live from Los Baños, Laguna, the special science and nature city of the Philippines. This SOLVE webinar series is SEARCA's immediate response to the emerging impacts of the COVID-19 global pandemic on food security. By maximizing the use of information and communication technology platforms to inform, educate, and share evidence-based solutions and tested technologies, as well as best practices on the ground. If you are new to this webinar, this is actually the 44th webinar since it was launched on April 28, 2020, during the height of the pandemic. Recent studies have shown that food is a strong driver of the choice of destination, and local cuisines play a key role in tourist destination preferences. Therefore, tasting local culinary richness has become a central part of the tourist experience. They say that food has the potential to enhance the visitor's experience by creating that connection between the consumer and the place and its perceived culture and heritage. For today's webinar, we have an interesting lineup of speakers who will share with us their experience, their expertise, and insights on this emerging business model. Agri-food tourism, or farm-to-table tourism. Some countries call it gastronomy tourism or culinary tourism. SEARCA's 11 5-year plan, which was launched in July 2020, identifies agribusiness models for increased productivity and income as one of the priority areas that would accelerate transformation through agricultural innovation. Agri-food tourism is one such agribusiness model that we will be discussing in today's online conversation. But before we proceed to our online conversation this morning, please allow me to quickly go over some statistics gathered from the SOLVE webinar held last June 29, 2022. The infograph shows that 58% of our online viewers were female and the rest were male. It also indicates that more than 30 individuals tuned in via Zoom and more than 80 viewed the webinar through SEARCA's Facebook page. Lastly, we're happy to note that we have had online attendees, not only from the Philippines, but also from Indonesia, Taiwan, Thailand, Timor-Leste, and the United States. Let me now go over the program flow, which is currently shown on your screen. After my introduction and a few housekeeping rules, we will have our first speaker, Mr. Antonio Lopez de Avila, currently the coordinator of the Tourism for Rural Development Program of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO. Mr. Lopez de Avila holds office at the UNWTO Regional Office in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is around 4 o'clock in the morning in Riyadh. So thank you, Sir Antonio, for honoring us with your presence. It is indeed a great privilege to have you with us in today's webinar. Mr. Antonio will be presenting UNWTO's Tourism for Rural Development Program, a driver for sustainability and well-being. Our second speaker is Mr. Kenneth De Gracia, who is representing the Office of the Regional Director of the Philippine Department of Tourism, Calabarzon area. He will share with us how the concept of farm tourism evolved here in the Philippines by planting seeds of fun farm tourism. Indeed, it is more fun in the Philippines. Our third and last speaker is Dr. Siti Fatimahwati Pehin, Dato Musa. Dr. Siti Musa is an assistant professor in economics and development, UBD School of Business and Economics, University Brunei Darussalam. She will present to us the findings of her study, which aimed to investigate the role of farm-to-table activities in agritourism towards sustainable development. The study was conducted in 3 agritourism farms in Brunei. I know you are all excited to listen to our speakers, but allow me to just go over some instructions on how you can send us your questions about the presentations. So how do you do this? For those of you who are tuned in via SEARCA's Facebook page, you may type your questions in the comments section. Kindly indicate your location now and or country of origin. If you are tuned in via Zoom, please post your questions or comments in the Q&A box, which you would find in the menu bar on your screen. Kindly indicate your location and our country of origin as well. Our SOLVE team will collate, curate, and compile those questions for me, and I will convey them to our speakers. Hopefully, we will be able to cover as many questions as we can in the time remaining. Please be clear when you are posing a question to a specific presenter, or if it is a general question that anybody can respond to. We will do our best to get as many questions as possible during the open forum. Kindly refrain from posting your email address in the comment section. You can provide this info to us upon responding to our evaluation form and e-certificate request. The link will be posted at the end of the webinar. Please note that this webinar will be recorded and will be made available on SEARCA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Today's presentations will be uploaded on our website at www.searca.org, and the slides shown during the past webinars have already been posted there. For your social media posts, especially on insights or takeaways from this webinar, please use the hashtag SEARCASolve. I repeat, please use the hashtag SEARCASolve. If you have issues or are experiencing technical difficulties with the Zoom online platform, please contact us at solve@searca.org. So that's solve@searca.org. So moving on to today's discussions. Our first speaker this morning is Mr. Antonio Lopez de Avila. Mr. Lopez de Avila is the coordinator of the Tourism for Rural Development Program of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO. Prior to joining the UNWTO, Mr. Antonio was co-founder and chief executive officer of Tourism Data-Driven Solutions, an international strategic consultancy firm on smart tourism destinations based in Madrid, Spain, and with offices in Mexico, Colombia, and China. He also served as special advisor to the Secretary General of the UNWTO on innovation and technology in 2017. He also led the Smart Tourism Destination Initiative in Spain as President CEO of Segatur from 2012 to 2017. This initiative has received the 2 most important recognitions at the global level: the UNWTO Ulysses Award in 2018 for innovation in research and technology, and the World Travel and Tourism Council, or the WTTZ Global Champion Award in 2019. As a scholar, he is also a professor of innovation management, and he was director of the Travel and Tourism Innovation Initiative at IE University Madrid, Spain from 2008 to 2011 and from 2017 to 2019. He has been involved in research activities on tourism in the areas of innovation, digital transformation, artificial intelligence, data analytics, smart tourism, smart destinations, rural tourism, and green technology. Mr. Lopez de Avila was the coordinator and co-author of the book Smart Tourism Destination, Building the Future, edited by the Ministry of Industry, Energy, and Tourism of Spain in 2015. This book became a worldwide reference for academics, companies, and destinations. Mr. Lopez de Avila earned an executive master's in business administration from IE Business School and a bachelor's degree in law from Universidad de Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, here to discuss UNWTO's Tourism for Rural Development Program, let us all welcome Mr. Antonio Lopez de Avila. Sir Antonio, you may now have the virtual floor.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a presentation or introduction. It seems I'm quite old, so I've done so many things in my life. Thank you for the invitation, SEARCA. I'm really pleased to be here with you all today and to share what UNWTO is doing to help villages around the world in these, in how they can develop tourism as a tool or as a driver for sustainable development and well-being for their people. Please let me share my screen so I can go through my presentation. Okay, this is what we have been doing in the last years and what we are doing now and for the future. As you might know, the UNWTO is the World Tourism Organization, is the United Nations agency responsible for the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. UNWTO promotes tourism as a driver of economic growth, inclusive development, and environmental sustainability. We are a state members organization. We have around 160 member states, 6 associated members, 2 observers, and over 500 affiliate members coming from the private and the academy. So we are gathering each year many times. So we are working to impulse and to help people to develop this new model of tourism. This is what we see, or how we see the urban versus the rural areas worldwide. As you see, there is a gap about employment, about infrastructure, about connectivity, about education, about gender, and about everything. We see that we need to work on the rural areas so we can help people to develop a proper way of living. And we are sure that we can do it through tourism. As our Secretary General says, tourism has proved to be a lifeline for many rural communities, but its true potential has yet to be fulfilled, realized, or overcome. So we have developed the idea of what rural tourism is for us, and UNWTO defines rural tourism as a type of tourism activity in which the visitor experience is related to a broader spectrum of products, typically linked to nature activities, agriculture, as we see now, rural lifestyles and cultures, sports, fishing, and sightseeing, and other things, but mainly linked to agriculture and rural lifestyles. That's what we see as UNWTO. So that's why we are here today, because we are focusing on the rural areas, and we are focusing on those who are using tourism, agriculture, and food as drivers to assure their own sustainable development and well-being in their villages. These are our main 2 frameworks, let's say, or policy at UNWTO that you can find in our webpage, and you can use for your own development programs and strategic programs. The UNWTO recommendations on tourism and rural development, a guide to making tourism an effective tool for rural development, and the Avila framework for inclusive community development through tourism. These are our Bibles, let's say. Through these 2 different documents or reports, we are working with governments in the national, regional, and local level. The recommendations, I always say that we're placing tourism, or you have to place tourism as a strategic pillar in policies for rural development. Tourism for the benefit and well-being of rural communities, new opportunities for tourism and rural development through innovation, technology, and digitization. That's something that we know that we are living now in a digital area. So we need to use technology, we need to be innovative, and we know we need to digitize our products so we can reach global markets. And product development and value chain integration for sustainable enhanced travel experience, and fostering sustainable policies and practical practices in rural destinations. Our mission, make tourism a driver of rural development and well-being. Our mission, advance the role of tourism in evaluating and safeguarding rural villages along their associated landscape, knowledge system, biological and cultural diversity, local values and activities. We do it through promoting innovative and transformative approaches to the development of tourism in rural destinations that contribute to three pillars of sustainability: the economic, the social, and environmental, align with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. As you see, I have here the logo of this program, which is our very guide and the most important guide that we have for our future. We have seen 12 different objectives through our research and through the countries and the rural communities and regions. The rural areas has to reduce the regional inequalities that we've seen before in income and development. We have to fight the depopulation. We have to progress in gender equality and women's and youth empowerment, promote rural destination and strengthen traction capacity, strengthen multi-level governments. It's really important to do that, partnerships and the active involvement of communities. We have to improve connectivity, infrastructure, access to finance and investments. We have to advance innovation and digitalization. We have to innovate in product development and value chain integration in the tourism value chain. We have to promote the relationship between sustainable, equitable, and resilient food system and tourism. This is very important in this seminar in SEARCA. We have to advance the conservation of natural and cultural resources, and we think that we can do it through agriculture. We can do it through the villages that align their objectives to our objective. And we have to promote sustainable practices for more efficient use of resources as a reduction of emissions and waste. We have to take care of our environment, and we have to be a very sustainable sector worldwide. And of course, and this is one of the examples, we have to enhance education and skills. Our unit, the Tourism and Market Intelligence and Competitiveness, we work with the governance in the national, regional, and local level. We work with data and market intelligence. We work with you in product development, and we do it using innovation and sustainability as the main guides. What have you seen after the pandemic? Or during the pandemic, yes, it depends on the part of the world we are talking about. We have a closer, the domestic tourism has shown positive signs in many markets since people tend to travel closer. So it's still a very, very important source of tourists, the national markets and the regional markets. The people really want to go to the roots. I mean, go back to the roots. They want to feel nature. And that's why rural tourism and road trips have emerged as a popular travel choice. We want to be more responsible. That's why sustainability, authenticity, and localhood are really important nowadays. So now you have the three key pillars of the new pandemic or post-pandemic tourism: sustainability, authenticity, and localhood. And new concerns: because people are really concerned about health and safety. And I think we can offer that in the rural areas. And other key factors for the future of tourism, and let me say that maybe it's the present of tourism, is digitalization and innovation. We have to be innovative in the model we develop tourism in our villages, and we have to digitize all the processes, not only how we create the product, but also how we market the product. We have to be very innovative in that. We have to change the way we approach the government links through the tourism, and we have to work in a public and private and communities partnerships. We have to do that if we want to succeed. We have to invest in talent and education, and we have to take care with sustainability. We have to look at these sustainable goals, these 17 sustainable goals, because we can use them. It can be the best guide to develop tourism in our communities. And how we can do that, how we can be innovative. We have to associate connecting seemingly unconnected issues, like, as far as we know, agriculture, harvest, and food and tourism. Now they are really connected because people really want to discover where things come from, where our food come from, and they want to be part of the harvest. And they love that. We can see it here in Spain, or there in Spain where I used to be, and how people came from China. They want to go to the olive trees harvest, and they want to take this olive oil from the tree, and they really want to experience that, and they pay for that. And we have to make questions, right questions, basic questions to get our goals. And how can we develop these? How can we connect our agriculture field, and how can we connect food with tourism? And you can see with the observation, you have to also observe how tourists does, and how to the competence do in other part of the world. You have to experiment in how to do these things, how to start doing this, and try different possibilities and be agile. When you know that something is failing, just be quick, be agile, and change to another way of doing that. And you have to use your network, and in unity is strength. And this is really true. So you have to cooperate with others in your village, within the other villages around you, with the government, with private companies, in local level, regional level, and national levels, and also international level. In cooperation, you will find the future. Because we're talking about innovation and how we create this product, this tourism product, out of our agriculture, out of our food, as the presentation was said, through agriculture, through agritourism, through gastrotourism. We can create these different experiences for tourism all over the world. And we have to also to innovate in how we offer the experience to them. In the service, through a new channel, through creating brands, proper brands, very unique brands that differentiate your product from others, and to engage this customer in your product. And so when they visit you, they want to go again and buy your products once they are in their own countries. And how do? We need to this private and public cooperation. We need to give the leadership to the micro and small and medium enterprises, because you are the one who's going to create the product. We need a market segmentation. We need to know where we want to focus if we want to be successful, through differentiation, authenticity, and tech innovation. We need that. You need to be differentiated. You need to assure your authenticity, because that's why people want to be with you, and you have to use technology and innovation to go there. And what do you get? You get more competitiveness, you get more income, and you get and you get job creations. So jobs, new jobs to retain population, to retain your youth, and to give new jobs to the women. How we are doing this through UNWTO, the unit of tourism market intelligence and competitiveness. We have created this rural tourism and rural development program. We're working in 4 pillars. We have created this best tourism villages recognition. And through this recognition, we have created a network. As I said before, network is very important nowadays. Through this network, we're learning from them, we're sharing experiences, we are going forward and faster, and we are creating knowledge, and we are disseminating this knowledge. We're spreading these new models of doing things through our skills development program, where we are supporting not only the public side, but also private side. And we are developing on the ground programs that we call a smart grants program, and through which we are giving money to people to develop their own projects. And we are creating the pilot projects program, through which we are going to help the villages in cooperation with the global government, with the regional government or the national government, so we can develop the whole project. I mean, we can start with checking the resources, and then we can plan, we can create a strategic plan, and then we can finance, and then we can go mentor all the communities so they can empower, they empower themselves. We empower themselves, to go ahead with the program. But for now, I would like to introduce you about our Best Tourism Village program, which is, I think it's the most effective program that we have running nowadays. This is the picture with the recognitions that we had last year in 2021 in Madrid. Now, so far, we have 44 Best Tourism Villages and 20 villages in the upgrade program. This is more or less how we are disseminated throughout the world. We have one in Philippines, Bojo, and you can see now the other one we have all over the world. And every single of them have their own capacity, their own peculiarity, authenticity. They have their own products, and they have created themselves. I mean, they have been created by the communities themselves. And we are supporting them now with these tools, with the training, with mentorship, and so on. So we're working on a very worldwide basis, but taking care the local perspective. And many of them are already working on agri-food systems. So I encourage you to take a look at the website and check all the different experiences that they have to share with you. To become a best tourism village, you have to have a low population density as a village, maximum of 15,000 inhabitants, which is a lot for many countries. You have to be located in the landscape with an important presence of traditional activities such as agriculture, forestry, livestock, or fishing. And we need a very engaged community to develop these programs. We really trust in people, and we really focus on people. So the communities are very important to us. We evaluate these 9 different areas. We evaluate the cultural and natural resources. We evaluate the promotion and conservation of cultural resources. We evaluate sustainability, economic, social, and environmental sustainability. We evaluate the tourism development and value chain integration of these villages in the tourism value chain. We are evaluating the governance and prioritization of tourism. As I said before, it's very important to us that the government, the local, the regional, and the national governments believes in tourism as a driver of sustainable development in rural areas. We evaluate the infrastructure and connectivity that they have, and we evaluate the health, safety, and security, because this is very important if you want to become a tourism destination. And those who are not in these, who are not accomplished, who don't accomplish, the minimum requirements, we have the upgrade program. So we take care of them. We develop a mentorship program so they can apply the following year to become a best tourism village and join this world network. The benefits are clear: international recognition, because they are supported by UNWTO, training, sharing good practices. It's very important to do this because you learn a lot from others. Participation in international events, because we encourage you to come with us to international events and share your knowledge and your experience personally. We have in the invitation to the network and of course to the annual meeting that this year is going to take place here in Saudi. We invite you to the announcement event so you can gather all together and you have this presentation, this word and recognition. We have the mentoring program and we have the small grants program. So we focus on training and education, and we focus on finance, how to finance all these development programs in your villages. The calendar of applications 2023, because the 2022 is already closed and we are doing the selection now. We are going to present the new candidates, the new best tourism villages at the end of this year. But if you want to become a village, a best tourism village, or one of these villages of our network, you have to start the application in March. From March to June, we have this application submission period, and from the June to September, October, we are doing the evaluation. Now we are in this final process. In December, we normally have the announcement event. To become a best tourism villages, it gets you a lot of recognition, international recognition. Last year, the villages that were part of the network got around value in dollars, value like $33 million US dollars as publicity and recognition and presence in the media, which is a lot. So you can imagine how important it is to become best tourism village, not only for the mentorship, not only for the finance and the help that we can do it, the guidance, but also for the international recognition that you get, which is sometimes maybe the most difficult thing, that the international markets, the global markets know that you are there. They don't know that you have, that you have a lot of things to do. Sorry, because I don't know why this went so fast, but I want to share this last slide where you have, sorry, I don't know if I'm sure, now it's okay. This is our webpage where you can find all the information about the initiative, the Best Tourism Initiative, and our our email account, rural@unwto.org, where you can contact us and whenever you want and share with us all your doubts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Antonio, for walking us through the various programs and initiatives of the UN World Tourism Organization to fully harness the potentials of tourism towards social and economic recovery outside of the urban areas. So your presentation made it clear to us that indeed tourism has proven to be, as the Secretary General of UNWTO said, a lifeline for many rural communities, especially in the Southeast Asian region, by providing opportunities for all, generating jobs, transforming lives, and promoting environmental sustainability, as well as empowering women and youth. Mr. Antonio also highlighted the ways to innovate the agri-food tourism through public-private partnership, job creation, technology innovation, among others.
And don't forget communities.
Yeah, communities.
Don't forget communities, because I mean, it's really important to count on the people, local people. We have to empower the people, the local people, so they can manage, they can lead their own development.
Yes.
This is really important to us.
Yep. It's also important to us too. The involvement of the community, the participation of the community in general. So Mr. Antonio also gave us an overview of the best tourism village program of UNWTO, the evaluation process, the benefits of being declared as one of the best tourism villages in terms of international recognition, social media mileage. So for more details about this program, please visit the UNWTO website. Thank you very much, Sir Antonio. We'll get back to you in a while. So again, may I remind our online attendees watching the webinar via Facebook Live, so please start typing your questions in the comment section, including your location or country of origin. If you are tuned in via Zoom, please post your questions in the Q&A box, which you will find in the menu bar on your screen. So while waiting for the next presentation to be shared on screen, please allow me to tell you more about our second speaker this morning. Our next speaker is a registered nurse by profession, chef, former educator, and a staunch advocate of farm tourism in the Philippines, rolled into one. He is currently a tourism operations officer of the Department of Tourism Calabarzon region, in charge of the Industry Manpower Development Unit and Farm Tourism Program. He is formerly the Director for Tourism Operations of Costales Nature Farms in Laguna, the first DOT accredited farm tourism destination in the country, and he held the position for 10 years before joining the government. As part of his professional development, he joined various programs abroad, including the Study Program for Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, held in Singapore, Thailand, and Cambodia, and the Agri-Tourism and Agribusiness Training Program of Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, held in Japan. One of his roles in the Department of Tourism, he is an accredited national trainer, where on top of his role in the Department of Tourism, he is an accredited national trainer and assessor of the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority for Organic Agriculture Production and Agro-Entrepreneurship, and also a resource person of the Department of Agricultural Training Institute for their agricultural extension programs. Recently, he joined the pool of experts of the Department of Trade and Industry, the Philippine Trade Training Center, for their Farm Tourism Enterprise Pathway Program. To find out more about the current initiatives of the Philippine Department of Tourism on farm to table tourism, let's all welcome Mr. Kenneth De Gracia. Over to you, Sir Kenneth.
Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Kim, for that very wonderful introduction. Allow me to share my screen.
Yes, please.
Oops. There you go. Can you see it already?
Yes, Kenneth.
Okay, good
Please
morning, everyone. So as mentioned, for today, I'm going to be sharing about the initiatives of the Department of Tourism in terms of the development of farm tourism program in the Philippines. And I entitled this presentation as Planting the Seeds of Fun Farm Tourism. So in the Philippines, farm tourism is one of the key tourism products that the government is developing and promoting. Actually, we had this tourism product since the 90s, but it wasn't really that conceptualized, and it wasn't really that a standalone tourism product. And it's only way back 2004 when we had this standards developed by the Department of Tourism. And although we had developed these standards way back 2004, it is only in 2012 or 2011 rather, that we had accredited the first farm tourism destination in the Philippines, and that is Costales Nature Farms, where I previously worked. So in the Philippines, this particular tourism product is one of the main focus of our department, and we are actually institutionalizing the setup, the definition of this farm tourism product, because for so long there are a lot of farm tourism sites that came into the market. But if we're going to look at their actual setup or their actual tourism product, they don't actually suffice the definition of farm tourism. So just to give a context of what we follow here in the Philippines, so farm tourism is composed of three various products. It must be located, or the site must be located in a rural and natural environment. And this is for the purpose of providing a holistic rural experience to our tourists or our clients. Then there must be an agricultural products or services, because we want to emphasize that farm tourism is not just intended for aesthetics. It is not just intended for leisure, but a farm tourism is also a platform for us to secure our food production, for us to have a sustainable food production. And third one, for us to deliver these agricultural products and services to forefront of our clients, or our guests, there must be tourism products and services. And in here, we have here farm stay, and we have the farm to table offering. Now, farm tourism became an alternative to traditional agricultural job in rural communities. This has been a problem in many rural areas in the country, wherein professionals are leaving the rural areas looking for better job opportunities in urban or in the cities. So with farm tourism, we are giving options to our tourism professionals to stay in rural community where they can still practice their tourism profession. And it has maintained, it has added value to agricultural products and services in the country. If you present the agriculture profession to the younger generation before, it is not that being accepted, or it is not really that enticing to them. But with farm tourism, we're giving them a new phase of the agriculture industry. So the impact of farm tourism had already extended beyond economical, but also includes social and cultural benefits, because we're also looking at farm tourism as a platform for cultural conservation, for heritage conservation, because we use the site for showcasing the heritage of a particular region or particular area where the farm is located. Now, after the COVID-19 pandemic, or where we are right now in the new normal, as mentioned by our first speaker earlier, outdoor recreational activities have become the go-to of our tourists, and farm tourism is one of them. And we are actually really seeing a good future for this particular tourism product because of the massive changes that had happened to the preference of our tourists in terms of tourism products. And these are just some of the social trends that really favors farm tourism. So there's this growing interest in knowing the source of food and how it is produced. Luckily, we have a very good promotion also of organic farming, of slow food in the Philippines, wherein consumers are now keen on knowing where their food are being sourced out. They want to meet the farmers who grew their vegetables or their meat, for that matter, and they're becoming more particular with the nutritional value of their foods, the health and safety, and they have now a strong interest in buying local and helping the community where these farmers or farm tourism sites are located. Now, there's also this rise of artisan production and respect for making or for makers versus consumption, as the product of this farm tourism sites resonates on the story to the emotional level. Consumers are now also keen on looking for this artisan products, because they think, or they thought that consumption of these products are better rather, and it is more helping to the community. So they are now looking into small scale producers, or they're looking into a small batch production, because there's this idea that if it is produced in a small batch, it is better, it is fresher. And then there's also this niche products wherein consumers are looking into the not the traditional products that can be seen on the shelves of our supermarkets, or those products that are just exclusively produced by these farms and community. Then also those value-added products also that are being produced by our farm tourism sites. Now, I want to emphasize on this one, on the food and travel as a cultural experience, because before, tourists are merely consuming food because it's a physical requirement, it's a requirement of our body. But nowadays, most of our tourists are now looking into food as part of the total tourism experience or cultural experience at a certain destination. So we have this slow food movement, it came to rise. So this particular movement has been already known to most of our tourists. So they're looking into artisanal foods. They are looking into these traditional cooks in the community, and they're looking into more authentic sense of the place through their food. They want to know more about the culture of the area. They want to know more about the heritage of the area by looking or tasting the culinary offering of a particular destination. Then there's also this interest in interactive learning while on vacation. Now, gone are the days that we visit a place, we just took photo with it or on it. But nowadays, we want to be more involved. We want to experience what is really happening on the ground or in that particular destination. In the case of farm tourism, we don't just want to see those farmers in the area tilling the land or watering the plants or doing their every chores in the farm, but we want to experience also. So as a guest or as a tourist, we want also to experience how to till the land, how to transplant vegetables for that matter, how to feed the animals, and how to fish, how to pick fruits, and other activity inside the farm. Now, because of the technology overload as well, nowadays we're looking into places where we can be disconnected for a little while, where we can have this what we call digital detox. And we can say that farm tourism site is one of the destinations that can fulfill this need. So we want to have this unplugged family time. We are experiencing, or we want this nostalgia for traditional skills and lifestyle, particularly those who grew up in the rural areas but eventually migrated to urban communities. So they just want to reminisce what practices or what lifestyle they have in the past. So they're visiting farm tourism destinations and just basically reconnecting with nature, or just they want to see the stars in their open skies, or basically just staying in the outdoors. So we can really say that there's a bright future for farm tourism in the country with this social trends that currently happen. Now, in the country, from a mere farm that offers or that showcases food production, from a mere farm that produces food, farm tourism have grown into a very large industry that showcases various products within the farm. So we started as a farm-based agri-ecotourism. We just showcase the food production. We teach our guests how to produce their own food. We showcase the agricultural heritage of the area. And then eventually, we expanded our operation. We added accommodation. So there are farm stays nowadays. There are farm tourism sites that offers various types of accommodation, from camping tents to cabins, bed and breakfast. Some farms have their own hotels inside their farms already. Then as a agro-heritage destination, some have put up their own museum inside the farm wherein they showcase those traditional tools that we used for farming before. And then we have food already. So farm tourism sites have evolved into a destination that offers a wide array of culinary offering. Now, farm tourism and culinary tourism goes side by side already, because those foods that are being showcased in the gastronomy are also being produced by our farms. So it goes along, they goes together. Now, farm tourism sites our farm tourism rather is an integral part of our culinary tourism nowadays, as these farmers or these food producers are part of the showcase of this particular area already. And most of our farms are, or rather our farms rather, are into farm to table, because majority of what they serve in their respective restaurants inside the farm are being produced by the farm itself. Then farm tourism sites are engaged in trade. Um, they 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 join various trade fairs. They even have their own shops, maybe inside the farm or roadside shops, or they put up their own stalls in markets or supermarkets. Farm tourism sites are becoming venue for outdoor recreation, particularly those with bigger areas where they can put up campsites. They have bike trails. They have areas for cart rides and so on. And farm tourism sites also showcases entertainment through traditional dances, traditional songs. Health and wellness also, farm are becoming go-to places for those who just would like to be refreshed, to rejuvenate, to revive. And in the country, farm tourism sites are now synonymous to an educational institution. Most of our farm tourism sites here in the Philippines are now offering technical vocational courses that are related to farming. And this has been a mandate of our farm tourism law that farm tourism sites are eligible, can be accredited with Technical Education and Skills Development Authority as an institution for learning. So we are not just contained in showcasing agricultural production. We are not just contained in showcasing foods, but also we can teach, we can educate people um, properly or formally through the technical vocational courses offered by TESDA. So there are a lot of opportunities now that a farm tourism destination can venture into, so that there will be a bigger, or rather a more diverse inflow of income to the business. Now, in the new normal, um, well, yeah, travel have definitely changed. We've been in lockdown for so many years. We've been in quarantine for so long, and during those times that we are in lockdown, we constantly crave for the outdoors. We had this what we call the revenge travel nowadays. People are traveling every now and then, going here, going there, and the COVID-19 pandemic had changed our perception to travel more responsibly, to look into places where we can be of impact economically. And most of our travelers, most of us, even us, we are looking for travel or for adventures, um, for immunity boosting escapes, for preventative or restorative reasons. And we have been more particular to our food choices, our food sources. We go directly to the source. We want to be sure enough that what we are consuming are really fresh, are really organic, are really for natural. And we know that farm tourism had already been meeting and satisfying these demands pre-pandemic, but to a very niche market. The very small percentage of the traveling public are actually going into farm tourism pre-pandemic, but we have seen the rise of arrivals to this destination even before we fully opened our borders and our travel. And considering the operational background of farm tourism, we see it as a key player in the tourism industry post-pandemic. It is now becoming more appealing to a bigger market. We are now seeing millennials, the Gen Z market, visiting farm tourism sites. They are now becoming interested on what this particular tourism destination is offering. They don't just go there anymore to take photos, to take Instagrammable shots, but now this particular segment of the market is also now interested in doing farm tour, studying the vegetation and becoming more interested on what really farm tourism is all about. And we see farm tourism as a great platform to really address this dynamically changing travel landscape by even just this very simple longing for outdoors. Farm tourism can really fulfill this desire for outdoor adventure. And yeah, and moving forward, we actually see farm tourism site as a major tourism product in the Philippines. And the very good thing with our government right now is that in the National Tourism Development Plan for this current administration, farm tourism is already a separate tourism product in the portfolio. Before, it was just placed under rural tourism as a subset of rural tourism in the previous National Tourism Development Plan. So, but for this current administration, it is a separate tourism product already, meaning it will have its separate funding, it will have its promotion and marketing on a separate. Actually, it has already its own office in the central office of the Department of Tourism. So there's a separate office already governing the farm tourism product. Then currently, I just want to share that the Department of Tourism is currently engaged with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization for a technical cooperation and for the enhancement and development of farm tourism in the Philippines. So we have already started the legwork of this. We had already our initial validation to pilot farm tourism sites in the country. One is in Calabarzon. So we hope to come up with a standard module for capacity development of farm tourism stakeholders in the Philippines in the next 2 years. Yeah. So before I end this presentation, I just would like to leave this quote. As we say, agriculture gives us life, tourism gives us joy, farm tourism will give us a joyful life experience. Thank you, mabuhay, and good morning.
Thank you very much, Sir Kenneth, for sharing with us how farm tourism evolved in the country, becoming an integral part of culinary tourism and the Philippine Department of Tourism's initiatives in promoting and developing farm tourism in the country and beyond. The social trends that favor farm tourism, the growing interest in finding out where food comes from, consumers who prefer niche products and products that are produced locally by the farm tourism side. Then the perfect combination of food and travel as a cultural experience, and farm tourism as a place to reconnect with nature, and more importantly, as a learning site, especially for the younger generation. Thank you so much, Sir Kenneth. Moving on to our third and last speaker, who is an assistant professor at the UBD School of Business and Economics, University of Brunei Darussalam. Most of the research that our speaker conducts are interdisciplinary in nature, allowing her to work with experts across various disciplines. She has published several papers and book chapters in the area of agritourism. She has conducted studies on food security and sustainability, youth and agriculture, youth unemployment, and rentier economies. Our speaker obtained her PhD in agricultural economics and rural development from Newcastle University, United Kingdom. Here to present to us the role of farm-to-table activities in agritourism towards sustainable development, please welcome Dr. Siti, Fatimahwati, Pehin, Dato, Musa. Dr. Siti, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Kim, for the introduction, and thank you for inviting me today for this webinar.
Thank you.
So I will share my screen. Okay, can everyone see?
Yes, please go ahead.
So today I'll be presenting to you on the study that I've done on the role of farm-to-table activities of agritourism towards sustainable development. And this study was done in Brunei, and because Brunei is a very small country and we are just developing our agritourism farms. So let me just give you a brief introduction, though both of the speakers have talked a lot about agritourism, farm-to-table activities. So let's just recap agritourism and farm-to-table activities, which is based on previous studies of scholars and literature reviews that I have found for my study. So agritourism is defined as tourist activity, which involves visiting a working farm to learn or to experience the farm's life to diversify rural activities. And farm-to-table movement was born in response to the booming fast food culture. And this was a threat to the local food tradition. So this came about the term of slow food movement. Okay, so the second speaker talked about this just now. So this resulted in several independent farm-to-table groups taking the responsibility of promoting local artisans, local farmers, and the local flavors through regional events such as taste workshops, wine and food tastings, and farmer markets. So you can hear the common farm-to-table activities or agritourism activities would be agricultural-based tourism activities like farm tours, fruit picking, farm dining, farm stay experience, which are typically done on the farm sites. So in Southeast Asia, agritourism, they are seen as a business that attracts tourists to the farms to try a unique dining experience from the farm. And farm-to-table activities that best represent Southeast Asia within ASEAN countries are restaurants, cooking classes, events, tour market, farm markets, and school organizations having tour in the farms. And in Brunei, because we're just developing the agritourism farms, they are mostly food-themed activities, such as farmer markets, food events, and cooking classes. And we can see that farm-to-table activities, they play a vital role in creating a sustainable and ecologically friendly food flow from the agriculture system to human consumption. You know, from the farm, fresh food, fresh produce are produced and they're cooked in the farm as well, in the restaurants located in the farms. And finally, they are served on the table for the visitors or the tourists. So this is where we got the farm-to-table term for this agritourism activities. So in this paper or this study, I tried to relate how agritourism farms in Brunei can contribute towards the sustainable development. So we all know that sustainable development is an important topic today. So it's development, not only we're not concerned about just the growth of monetary value, or we're not just concerned about GDP or economic growth only, but we want to make sure that development is balanced and balanced across economy, environment, and the social and communities' well-being as well. So we want to make sure that the needs of the present are met without comprising the needs of the future generation. And like I said, there needs to be a balance between economic, social, and environmental facets of this development. So agritourism can contribute to sustainable development, especially in rural areas where the environmental and cultural heritage are strongly valued by tourists. So we hear just now both speakers talk about how rural areas, they have this ethnic cultural heritage. So this is where agritourism or farm-to-table activities can contribute towards sustainable development. So economically, if we were to look at the go through the three spheres just now, so economically, Agrifood tourism, there can be the opportunity to earn extra income through employment, okay, and the creation of new markets for agricultural products and facilitating market accessibility. And the social sphere, socially, food theme activities like farmers markets, food festivals, they have the potential to strengthen the unique identity of the local communities. And on the environmental side, farming of locally sourced grown food materials enhances environmental sustainability. So it can contribute to traceability and also the ability to reduce food miles, reduce carbon footprint, and increasing our environmental sustainability. So it wouldn't be complete, I think, today without mentioning a bit about COVID as well, how COVID-19 have changed the global travel and tourism sector, and it has heavily affected this sector a lot, okay, the pandemic. So in Brunei, especially during the lockdowns, domestic tourism was the way to go. When we couldn't travel abroad, the local people would visit these agritourism farms or as a way to release their travel crave. Okay, so nature-based tourism, it has been seen that they are considered as low risk during the pandemic, and they guarantee that we are physical distancing. So, for example, the study in Poland, agritourism farms are considered the safer holiday destination because of four main reasons. Because they can spend holidays in peace and quiet, they can consume healthy food served at the farms, and they are at competitive prices, and they are safer travel destination for families with children. And it is also found that agritourism is actually a very agile and resilient sector, because we can see that studies in California and also in Australia, even during the pandemic, they were still able to earn revenue, even though there were lockdowns, quarantine, and restrictions, because they were still able to deliver or sell their fresh produce to their consumers through social platforms and online platforms. So they were still earning 61% of revenue direct sales from their agricultural products. So this was studied in California and also in Australia. So how about in Brunei? So in Brunei, as I've mentioned before, we have, it is a very small country, and it has only at the moment 3 working agritourism farms. And I have looked at these 3 farms for my study. So they are Eco-Ponies Garden, Tasbi Meliponi Culture Farm, and Sumbiling Eco Village Farm. So with the border closure, like I said just now, it stimulated local interest in domestic tourism activities at these agritourism sites in Brunei. And among all the nature-based tourism locations in Brunei, okay, we have also eco-tourism, right? But surprisingly, agritourism farms are perceived as a safe tourism destination by our local visitors. So here is the map, the locations of the farms I've done on my study on the 3 farms. So the main agritourism activities at these 3 farms are harvesting and producing honey, okay, particularly in Tasbi Meliponi Culture Farm, and farming, okay, Eco-Ponies and Sumbiling Eco Village, they do farming, organic farming, and farm, the 2 farms, Eco-Ponies and Sumbiling, also do cooking demonstration and classes, and they do educational tours, farm to table dining, farmers market. They also do forest trekking, because they do foraging. Okay, they look for the indigenous ingredient herbs in the forest. Okay, and they do also nature and outdoor sports. There are cultural events, and they also offer farm stays in these agritourism farms. So for my study, since there are not not much study has been done on agritourism in Brunei, so I had to conduct exploratory research to gain insights and a rich data set in order to get a deeper understanding of agritourism in Brunei. So I used in-depth interview, okay, semi-structured interview with 23 participants involved in the management of these farms. So out of these 23 participants, 19 people represent internal data, meaning they are direct members of the farms. They are the owners, the co-founders, the managers, farmers, the volunteers, and the community, which I have interviewed. And the other 4 people consist of the external data or external group, consists of tourism advisor, government officers or officials, and marketing promoter. So let's just go through a brief description of each of these 3 farms. So Ecoponis Garden, farm-to-table activities reflect the ethnic culinary heritage of the indigenous group in this community, and they are called the Dusun people in this particular village. And in this Ecoponis Garden, they specialize in cooking traditional ethnic food. Okay, and they stage this food with gourmet plating and present it against the rustic background of their farm cottage. So it's a very wonderful experience for tourists or visitors to look at this culinary heritage. Let me show you some of the pictures. This is where Ecopony Gardens is. You can see there one of the villager or lady there cooking one of the traditional Dusun food, and this is their plating for the food. This shows cooking classes or demonstration. Sorry. And farm 2, Tasbi Maliponi Culture Farm. This is a bee farm. Okay? It's a very unique activity. They provide experiential agritourism activity by harvesting stingless bees straight from the hives. And the experiential tour, it involves a quick segment for visitors to learn about the health benefits of stingless bees and how to sustainably extract the honey without harming the bees or the environment. And the tourists can only consume the product fresh by extracting the honey into the jars themselves. Okay, so the farm promotes the educational aspect of the first-hand experience of bee farming. Let me show you here. There are school children visiting the farms, the bee farm here, and this lady here extracting the bee, the honey herself into a small jar. Okay, sorry. So you cannot buy without extracting it yourself. So you need to extract the honey, and then you can buy the honey that you have extracted yourself. So it's part of the learning experience in this bee farm. So farm 3, Sumbiling Eco Village. This village is surrounded by pristine rainforest. Okay, and they practice organic farming and blended with agroforestry. They replant native trees or bamboo around the areas. They also have unique culinary experience and originated from another community or indigenous community called Iban, okay, in Brunei. And they have this foraging tradition whereby a part of the educational tourism activity is to look for edible plants or wild herbs deeper in the forest. So when they go deep into the forest for foraging activities, they are informed about the medicinal benefits of the wild plants and how to harvest them for consumption. So here is an example of the farmer here foraging the herbs and the bamboo. Okay, and this is him explaining the foraging for plants and food in the jungle. Okay, so now from the study, after I've conducted the interviews and compiled everything, I tried to put them into the three spheres of sustainable development and look how all these agritourism activities can contribute to each of the spheres of sustainable development. So in the economic side, there are these agritourism farms. They are niche marketers. They sell sustainable products that are non-conventional, specialized food such as wild herbs and stingless bee honey. So they sell these niche products that emphasize the commercialization of local grown food. Okay, and they also represent a successful model of reflexive agribusiness that contributes to economic development, whereby the farm is made into a space where local food producers supply their products to diversify the product range for tourists. And they also are their role as an economic platform for the village farmers, providing them with an additional source of income, especially when they conduct farmers market, okay, whereby they have stalls set up in the farms. And socially, okay, how they contribute to social development. I found that it's through sustaining the ethnic culinary heritage. So the farm to table cooking classes, for example, in Farm 1 and Farm 3 just now, they are rich in indigenous food heritage from the villages. And both farms, they use local food sources, and which come from their own organic farms. Okay, they grow their own vegetables, fruits, and herbs, and then they also get some wild edible plants from deeper in the forest. And in the forest, tourists are taught how to prepare, for example, bamboo salad, and how to use natural cooking utensils, such as turning a large bamboo stem into a natural steamer. Okay, so I've learned that the ethnic food has the power to revive sustainable forest agriculture and demonstrate the versatility of indigenous heritage, and socially reproduce the significance of local food among tourists and urban dwellers. So that is one of the findings from this study, how they contribute towards social development. And in terms of environmental sustainability, all these farms, operations and tourism activities at these farms, they practice environmentally friendly ways, okay, to avoid environmental degradation such as pollution, habitat destructions, irresponsible foraging. Okay, and Farm 3 in particular is a pioneer in being an eco-village and has been diligently promoting sustainable living. And Farm 1, okay, addresses environmental concerns by advocating sustainable foraging, okay, limiting the number of harvests, and they replant rare jungle plants in the garden for conservation. And all these farm to table events are functional in promoting food localism and creating awareness to the public about the potential of the production and farming of locally sourced food. So when local food consumption means consumers or the tourists are reducing food mile issue, okay? They purchase directly from the local farmers and they validate the agriculture efforts. And so this is a form of food localism, we call it. So it ensures food safety, it ensures that food is easily traceable, accessible at the source, and we can ensure that they are fresh, okay? And furthermore, it's organic, okay? No pesticides, etc. So it provides a deeper or foster a deeper connection, okay? The link between the people and the farmers, okay? And they generate a lot of things, like it provides employment as well for the communities, and it transforms these villages or this community into a social network place. So to summarize the key findings of my study, these farm-to-table activities in the 3 farms in Brunei, they contribute to sustainable development by diversifying and enhancing the income of farmers by selling their agricultural produce at the farmers market. And they preserve ethnic cultural heritage through the promotion of indigenous food, which is unique. And they sustain the environment, okay, by reducing food mile and encouraging food localism. So the key takeaways, if we were to the key takeaways for the study, that farm-to-table activities, they play a significant role in revitalizing the local community. And there should be more regional policy based on a balanced approach, taking into account the 3 dimensions just now, okay, of sustainability. And that from this study, I've learned that the consumption of local ethnic food and food localism in particular provides a cultural space that induces the preservation of indigenous heritage, which is considered an intangible part of culture that is today unfortunately disappearing and mostly undocumented. Okay, thank you. And this is my email if there needs to be any further clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siti, for your presentation, for your wonderful presentation this morning. Dr. Siti highlighted the significant contribution of agritourism to sustainable development, economically, socially, and reduce food miles. Dr. Siti also shared with us the results of her study that she conducted in 3 agri-food tourism sites in Brunei, and how this contributed to economic development, providing the farmer owners with extra income, social development through sustaining and demonstrating ethno-culinary heritage, and environmental sustainability, promoting food safety, traceability, and reducing food mile, and encouraging food localism. We hope that one day we will be able to visit Brunei Darussalam and have that unique farm-to-table experience in the farm tourism sites that you featured in your presentation, Dr. Siti. With that, let us now move on to the open forum. Okay, so I would like to kick off this Q&A with a question addressed to Mr. Lopez de Avila. Sir Antonio, are you still there?
Yes, still
Okay,
here.
so you're still awake. Thank you. Sir, we all know that COVID-19 has disrupted all aspects of tourism, significantly reducing international travel by more than 70%, no? According to a report published by the Asian Development Bank. So this created a domino effect on the businesses, governments, and communities alike. The question is, what are some of the policy responses on tourism recovery and rebuilding measures that you have come across with in Southeast Asia and beyond to mitigate the negative impacts of COVID-19, which you believe, no, can also be adopted by the Philippine government and perhaps Brunei Darussalam government?
Well, we think that since the borders are starting to open everything is going to change. We have seen it in Europe and in Latin America already. Once the borders were opened, people really want to travel. People really want to discover these new environments. That's why this is so important, because people are really looking for discovering the roots. They want to try again the real taste of food, of real food. And they really want to do things that they have never done, like harvest, like being part of the process of harvest and taking care of the food, and all these things. They are really appealing nowadays for the international tourist. So once the borders are open and once we have no restrictions to travel, then we can use tourism as a very powerful driver for sustainable development in all these countries.
Thank you very much for your answer, Sir Antonio. The next question is directed to Mr. De Gracia. Sir Kenneth, having worked with Costales Nature Farms for several years, so based on your experience, what strategies and policies do you think need to be implemented to enhance farm-to-table or agri-food tourism in our country?
To be honest, even so, we've been in the industry for 10 years. Recently, we joined a travel expo in Manila, where we got to meet tour operators based in NCR. There are still a significant number of operators that are not familiar with this tourism product, farm tourism, not only with Costales Farms, but with the farm tourism as well. So I think we still lack promotional efforts, marketing efforts for this particular tourism product. We just promote it as an alternative outdoor destination, but not as a holistic tourism product that can really provide us other experiences like gastronomy experience or culinary experience for that matter. So I think we need more, our government should provide more exposure on this tourism product, more marketing efforts for this.
Yeah, so you're saying we need to beef up, our marketing efforts for agri-food tourism, to prosper in our country. Back to you, Sir Antonio. There's a question here from our Facebook audience. Sir Antonio, at the global level, what are the key drivers to the development of agri-food tourism? Is there any particular key driver distinctive for Southeast Asia?
I think we have checked two wonderful examples in this seminar. In this very seminar, I feel really interested. That's why I'm here.
Thank
because
you.
I found these the other two speakers really interesting, and we have been doing or saying the same thing, that the key drivers are sustainability, are counting on local communities, recovering the traditional way of harvesting and cultivate things and taking care of the environment. I think this is the key things. Of course, you have then to connect to create a tourist product out of this, because this is the innovation. You have the creative part. You have to connect the agriculture with and food with tourism. You have to create the product, and you have to connect this product with the market. That's the main thing. I mean, you have all the different resources that you need to do this, but you need to create the product, tourism product, to understand what does it mean, to create experience around the how do you live, or how life is in these villages, and then to connect with the international tourist and attract him. That is the main chain of the main part of the chain that you need now. But that's why we are here. That's why UNWTO is here, helping all the villages to give this step.
Okay, thank you very much. That's good to know that all the factors are there, the enabling factors are there. It's just a matter of packaging them into an innovative product that everyone really can relate to or be interested in. Okay, so back to you, Sir Kenneth. what enabling policies are in place in the Philippines to support farm tourism? And how are these being implemented now? Sir Kenneth.
The good thing in the Philippines is that we have a standalone law that governs the development of farm tourism. That is the Republic Act 10816 or Farm Tourism Act of 2019. I am right. So in this farm tourism law, it is specifically mentioned what government agencies are to be involved in the promotion and development of farm tourism. So it is a multi-agency approach in its development. So we have DA and Department of Agriculture rather and Department of Tourism as a primary government agency in the development of farm tourism. So from our end, we capacitate stakeholders, we promote them, we market them. From the Department of Agriculture's end, they capacitate stakeholders in agricultural technology. We have other agencies like the Department of Trade and Industry that assist these farm tourism stakeholders in the development of their value-added products. Then we have the Department of Science and Technology that provides technology transfer that gives them also equipment on how they can beef up their production, their food production from manual labor to automated to mechanized production. And other than that, we have also the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority that assists these farms to capacitate other farmers from their own level. So we have a lot of programs from various government agencies that we just have to consolidate them and present it to our stakeholders to a level that they can fully embrace it and understand.
Thank you, Sir Kenneth. That's good to know. We have a question here. Somebody raised her hand, but now it's no longer. I think she's no longer raising her hand. Okay, so another question here for everyone, to answer. Let me get that question. Just a moment. Wait. Just hang on. Okay, back to Mr. Kenneth. Mr. Kenneth, the Republic Act 816 or the Farm Tourism Development Act is an aggressive move towards developing and promoting farm tourism in the country. How or in what way has this law contributed to the improvement of the quality of farm tourism in the country? Would you know?
Yeah, okay. The very basic is that before, when we don't have this law, we don't actually know which agency or this farm tourism site should go to ask for assistance. With the farm tourism law, it's now specified as to which government agency should actually lead, and that where the Department of Tourism, chairing the National Farm Tourism Board, and vice chairing is the Department of Agriculture. That is the two lead agency in the development of this farm tourism. Then, before this law, we don't have this concept of, we have this concept of farm schooling, but it is not actually institutionalized. But with the farm tourism law, it's now stated in there that farm tourism destinations can be, and it is specifically mentioned that can be accredited as a technical vocational institution with the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. So if we're going to look at the profile of most of the farm tourism destinations in the Philippines nowadays, we can see that most of them are now offering National Competency 2 courses of Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. Okay. Then we don't have a structured marketing and promotional efforts before. Now with the farm tourism law, it is now stated in there and mandated that LGUs should promote their own farm tourism destinations, and the National Association of Tour Operators and Travel Agencies in the country are also being mandated to include farm tourism sites in the development of itineraries and circuits in a particular destination. It's actually they are small steps still at this point of time, but given that the law is basically a few years back only, so we are still on our way to fully implement, to fully embrace what the law can offer.
How about incentives? Does the government offer incentives to farm tourism operators?
Certain agencies provide incentives, like for the Department of Agriculture, Agricultural Training Institute, the extension arm of the Department of Agriculture. If you are accredited with, if you are already, or rather, if you are accredited as a learning site for agriculture of the AATI, you're given assistance in kind, or the agency will provide you funds for construction of certain facilities inside the farm, greenhouses, multi-purpose hall, or funds for procurement of livestock, so on. And from our end, although we do not give cash as an incentive, but your inclusion in our promotional materials, in our marketing materials, the inclusion of our farm tourism sites in trade expos, in travel fairs, because it is not cheap to join travel expo.
Yeah.
You need to spend thousands of pesos just to secure a small 18 square meter space in a trade exhibition. So we provide them spaces, we sponsor their accommodation, their meals all throughout their stays in trade expos. Those are just few of the incentives that we provide to our stakeholders. We invite them in familiarization tours. We bring them to other regions in the Philippines for them to observe how farm tourism is happening in the Visayas, in Mindanao, and in other parts of the country. That's how we do it.
Thank you very much, Sir Kenneth. So for Dr. Siti, does the government, the Brunei government, have mandates for farm tourism as well, similar to the Philippines? And how does the government provide support, like in the 3 farms that you mentioned?
No, unfortunately, not yet, because as I mentioned, we are just developing it at the moment. I think it's in line with the government's policy for achieving food security as well. So that is why more farms are booming in Brunei. But they are also diversifying. Apart from just farming, they decide to open it up for tourist activity as well. So I think because it's just developing, it might take time for incentives or policies to be implemented for our agritourism farms. But I think it would be a trend with more farms are popping up, providing providing tourist activities nowadays, especially with after COVID situation. Domestic tourism is actually still rising in Brunei. So this has maybe pressured the government maybe to apply or to implement more incentives for these farms to boom and to improve further, so that we can improve their activities as well.
Yeah, so you're saying that what you did, the study that you did, is a pioneering study, really.
Yes, yeah.
So we hope that there will be more studies that are similar in nature,
yes,
so that
hopefully.
the government will realize how important it is to promote agritourism in your country.
Yeah.
So there's a follow-up question here. So you were saying that this could be a trend. So we hope that the government can help. You have particular recommendations in mind, Dr. Siti?
I would say, I think more publicity probably, because not many people actually knows the existence of this agritourism farms. They're usually located in the rural areas, and so I think they need to be more maybe social media publicity, to promote these farms. But recently there have been a few articles published about these farms in the news. So I think it's getting there. So more people are, they know where these farms are. I myself didn't know where these farms were. They actually existed
right?
until the pandemic occurred. So we started to look for, where to go because borders are closed. So we decided to, see where we can go inside the country. So then only we knew that this kind of activities or farms do exist in Brunei. So I think that's the main thing. We need to, I think, reach out to the public and actually publicize that these farms are actually a tremendous, they're doing fun things, and I think maybe education institutions and school kids they should actually do more visits, because kids nowadays, they don't know where their food comes from. They know,
Yeah.
they just know it's from the supermarket, you know. So they need to learn where food come from, you know, go to the farms and actually be more, you know, mindful that this is how you produce food. Okay. And yeah, so I think that's the first step, probably take baby steps towards this awareness and more publicity about the existence of these farms, because Brunei is I don't know, we don't really it's more of, we don't really know these rural areas, so we want to revive these rural areas and make it known to the younger generation as well.
Yep. Awareness raising is
Yes.
really important. Yes.
Yeah.
So there is this question for all of you, for Sir Antonio, Kenneth, and Dr. Siti. Question is, what are the potential negative externalities of agri-food tourism? May we start with Sir Antonio? What are the potential negative? Are there any externalities of agri-food tourism?
Yeah, there are always space for negative impact.
Yes.
Always. That's why we have to measure everything. We have to control different indices so we can see if we are doing the right thing in the right moment. It's the only way. That's why when we talk about the smart destination is the destination that control their data. I mean, they know what's happening in every single moment. You control that data and you take decisions on this data. So once we do this, if we follow this model of getting data and controlling the negative impact, once it appears, you can stop it and you can reconduct the whole thing. You have to be agile in doing that. But if you have no data, if you just have a goal and you go and go and go, suddenly you can notice that everything is wrong and you have a very, very bad impact in the people and in the environment. So it's always room for bad things. So we have to control that.
Yes, you understand that data is really important in order for us to be able to make proper decisions, right?
That's it.
Yes. Okay. So how about you, Mr. Kenneth? Mr. Kenneth, what negative externalities do you see in agri-food tourism?
Now, I want to take this to the perspective of an owner or of a farm tourism stakeholders. As a personally experienced, when we started the operations of the farm, we are actually overwhelmed by the number of guests that are visiting the farm.
Yes.
We don't have that proper mindset or idea before that we need to control the development of the farm. But because we are seeing the influx of tourists and because we want to fulfill the needs of all of these tourists, we keep on developing the farm, putting up a lot of structures without having in consideration that we need to leave a certain part of the farm for the production. Because in farm tourism, we need to showcase the farm production. We came to a point that the tourism operations is now bigger than the agricultural operations. So we left the agricultural operations. So we are not really practicing farm tourism anymore by that time. So yeah, I wanted to emphasize that in the development of farm tourism, we have also to consider the exact offering and product that this destination should be offering. It's all about the farm, it's all about the food production, the vegetables, and the other agricultural commodities that are present inside the farm. We are not selling here the accommodation. We are not selling here the aesthetics of the farm, but what we are selling here is the agricultural operations. And in the operation of the farm, once we started the operations, there are more risks here. It presents more regulatory and liability risks. And it often requires us to spend money upfront just to improve our facilities for our visitors and for regulatory requirements. And it has the potential to actually create conflict with the community and with the neighbors, particularly if they are not really aware or if they are not given information about tourism in general, that the people will flock this community if they're not given this enough data or idea of how the tourism industry works.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Kenneth. How about you, Dr. Siti? So we
Um,
have data information, and then we have also to focus on the product that
mm,
is being offered by the farm tourism side. How about you,
I think
Dr. Siti?
for agritourism, we need to keep it back to its you know, what is its value to the environment and the community,
Mhm.
and not really not commercialize it at that
Commercialize
much,
it.
you know. So too much of something can be bad as well.
Yes.
So if you have, for example, if a lot of demand for the stingless honey, you know,
Yeah.
so they might commercialize it. So that beats the purpose in the first place. So I think we need to be careful on, we have to be mindful as well. What is our purpose in the first place to attract tourists into these areas? And keep in mind that we want to also help the community have employment. For example, we can't give employment to you know, foreigners first, or we need to help the community first. So yeah, I think that's more important, that we are careful what is the main aim of promoting agritourism in the first place, and make sure that we take care of all these three, you know, environment and communities, and also ensure that they have sustainable economic growth at the same time.
Yeah. We are talking about very fragile ecosystems, human
Yes.
ecosystem, natural ecosystems, economic ecosystems. So we have to take that into consideration when we plan how we want to develop in touristic side of villages. So it's something that's why we need to have indexes. We have to have our KPIs so we can follow every moment what we are doing, what were we achieving, and so we can act in the right way.
Yeah, true.
Okay, thank you for that additional insight, Sir Antonio. So actually, we have a few more questions lined up, but in the interest of time, we will be sending your comments and questions to our speakers for them to answer, and we will share them via email to those who ask the questions. So that sums up our open forum. Thank you, Mr. Antonio Lopez, the Avila,
so
Sir
much.
Kenneth, and Dr. Siti Musa for that very insightful discussion on the potentials of farm or rural tourism, and more importantly, agri-food tourism in achieving sustainable development goals. But before we close this webinar, may I ask each of our speakers this morning if there is one thing that you would want our online attendees to understand and remember or take away with them as a result of this online conversation, what would that be? May I start with you, Sir Antonio, followed by Kenneth, and then Dr. Siti.
Okay, the thing maybe is that what I can say is with the right guide, with the right plan, you can become a unique, sustainable, and successful tourist destination with the right guide. So just go ahead, but you need to have a plan and you have to be sustainable. That's the main thing. And you have to empower people, communities. People first.
People first. Okay. How about you, Sir Kenneth?
Food tourism or culinary tourism is really an integral part of the industry. It encompasses all those traditional values associated with the industry: respect for culture, tradition, authenticity, and sustainability. And our country is now, Philippines is now becoming known worldwide as a destination for gastronomy. And agritourism or farm tourism represents one of the most important places where culinary tourists can actually experience local food and beverage. And it's important to remember that food and drink or beverages can enhance tourism experience. This memorable experience that bring to life those stories behind those food, behind those drinks in a specific geographic area. And farm tourism, food tourism can play a very significant role in preserving our local heritage while we are building on our existing tourism assets and while we are driving innovation. And by increasing visitor demand for our local foods, for our local farms, we can contribute to the long-term sustainability of our local agriculture, our local food system, our communities, our culture, and the tourism industry as a whole.
Thank you, Sir Kenneth. That was passionate. Okay, so Dr. Siti, what's
Okay, I
your take?
think they took all my points. I think yes, people and planet. Like Mr. Antonio said, people first, and I would say environment. Is important as well, and of course, economic is also very important. So we need to have all of this as part of the way forward for agritourism. So we want to take care of the people, the environment, and to make sure that we have economic growth as well. And I think agritourism, it has, like I said just now, I think it's going to be a trend, especially with post-COVID, people are looking into nature, and they want open air. They want to look into organic food, safe food, fresh food. So I think that's the way to go for the future. Yeah, that's the key takeaway, I guess, from this webinar for me.
Thank you very much for your key takeaway messages. On behalf of SEARCA, led by our director, Dr. Glenn Gregorio, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, our esteemed speakers, Mr. Antonio Lopez de Avila, Mr. Kenneth de Gracia, and Dr. Siti Musa, for taking time to join us today. It has been a pleasure to have you with us this morning. That ends our webinar, but before we close, please let us know what you think about today's SOLVE webinar by following the link to a quick feedback form to be posted in the Facebook live stream video of this webinar and also flashed on your screen. The same link will direct you to the request form for the e-certificate. Your feedback will help us improve our online learning events. Please note that we will only accommodate requests for e-certificates within 24 hours after the end of this webinar. Kindly wait for your e-certificate to be issued at least within a month, as we receive a lot of requests for e-certificates. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Please join us again for our next online conversation this coming Saturday, 22 October, as we host the first Southeast Asian Youth Fest, or SYF, at 8:30 in the morning, Philippine time, via Zoom and Facebook Live. This is organized by our very own Young Forces for Agricultural Innovation, or Youth for Agri, Y for Agri, through the cohort of SEARCA Youth Ambassadors Platform, or SIAP, taking off from the World Food Day 2022's call to build a sustainable world where everyone, everywhere has access to nutritious food. The event will feature keynote speakers who will help us understand the state of food security in the Southeast Asian region and beyond. Parallel sessions will also be conducted to encourage participants to share perspectives on food security issues and solutions to counter food system disruptions. Register now and let your voices be heard. Visit our SEARCA and Y for Agri Facebook pages and website for more details. The registration link is also shown on your screen. Once again, let us help one another get through this COVID-19 pandemic as we face the new normal, our new beginnings and journeys with anticipation, optimism, enthusiasm, and care for each other and for our community. Agri-food tourism is creating our own new normal for better, bigger, and smarter farmers and farming communities. Once again, this is Kim Bantayan for SEARCA. Have a good day, stay healthy, stay safe, and goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Antonio.